All right, y'all. Hope you've been good. So it's been a minute since we've posted. We got the DJI FPV combo tonight. For those of you who don't know what FPV is, that is first person view. So essentially, I mean, there's a lot of large differences when it comes to software, all that fun stuff. But you really could say is like, hey, you got a one-axis gimbal aircraft that's designed for a lot more maneuver. Anyway, super pumped up about it. Tonight we're just gonna unbox, and then we'll, unbox the motion controller as well, and the Fly More kit. So new type of controller, definitely should be more intuitive to hand motions or joystick motions if you ever use those. We're gonna activate it tomorrow, fly it tomorrow, and I'll post another video with kind of like the setup tutorial and the flight and initial thoughts on it. But for now, let's just do the unboxing, check out what comes in the combo kit. Alrighty, so let's get to it. I did put a pen here mainly just for reference. And the interesting part here is this will be a little bit heavier of a drone, but open it up and man, I just love the way this thing looks. There was some reviews where people said, it's an ugly drone, or I don't know what they're talking about. It looks like something out of Alien vs. Predator, if y'all have ever seen that movie. Pretty mean looking drone. I actually love the way it looks. Okay, so first layer, you'll have your drone there. I'll move this box over to the side. And then we also have the V2 goggle setup. Okay, so something that's pretty interesting that I love about these goggles so far. This is my first FPV drone. You have all your controls here, even the option to obviously set to record. It's maneuvered the menu controls through this little joystick here, and then you have your back button, and then obviously the connectors for the antenna. So interesting thing is you also have you have a spot for your micro SD and then USB-C. Okay, so the USB-C, once the software is unlocked, and I believe it is now, will allow you to actually connect your cell phone to it. One, so people could either view what you're seeing, but also it'll come in handy for the training module they have for when you want to go to macro. Either way, pretty interesting setup there. I kind of went to it and then skipped over it, sorry. The micro SD card that you can put in there, you can actually do in-goggle recording. That helps in two ways. One, sometimes people like that 820p, that's what you can record up to. But one, people kind of like that look, you can get the props in there as well. But two is if you were to crash the drone, your footage isn't completely lost because it will be recorded here. Okay, so that's kind of the drone setup. I'm going to shift this over to the side here and we'll go through the accessories. So nice thick padding. I might actually end up keeping it because I don't have a drone case yet for the FPV. I do have one for my Skydio. So anyway, as soon as you open, you'll see the remote. Okay, a couple things to note about this remote. If you've never flown FPV, you obviously don't need anything to hold the cell phone. So you have the antenna that flips up right there. And on the back, something that people I think are loving, even FPV pilots, is this pause button. Really, if you get an emergency situation or need to stop immediately, we're going to test that out tomorrow when we fly and see how quick it is to react, and really how you can get your drone in a safe position as quickly as possible. You also have the modes. So once again, if you're new to FPV, you have that normal mode, sport mode, and then manual flying or acro. Over here, so while you can adjust the single axis or one axis gimbal using the roller, there's also 3 presets, right? So they tried to make this as easy to go for your setup, which is nice. Your record button, start, stop, and return to home buttons are there as well. So pretty interesting setup. You also have two little storage areas here for your controls. Okay. Now, one thing you'll notice if you know, you're used to flying regular DJI, that spring-loaded control, normally not a big deal. Some FPV pilots would like the option to essentially eliminate that spring loading so that when they move it, it stays in the location that they left it. And if you can remove these, which they are removable, basically remove these back coverings, turn some screws in there, and you'll be able to adjust that. So they really tried to make this a step up FPV drone where you can start at easier levels and work your way up, while also putting some advanced settings in there for people who are used to flying FPV to go out there and be able to fly immediately. So pretty interesting. All right, we're gonna move this back over. Next box is your set of props. Be pretty careful with them. All right, so red and red, right? Check here. And you can see the markings, okay? Those of you who are familiar with drones would obviously know what this is for, but we want to make sure we're talking for all experience levels, being that this is technically an entry-level FPV drone. So you'll notice these props, let's flip these back over, do not have any red markings, okay? So when you open this drone, box, pretty self-explanatory, right? You've got red A, black B, and that's how you would set this up and get rolling with your props. We're gonna leave them off just because when we go through the activation process, I like to see these little spins here and the lights light up, so it's really just me being me. But anyway, so we got the props. Let's shift these over. Comes with a couple spares there, which is good. Move the drone back over to its setting. I just love the way it looks. I think it looks awesome. I can't believe it got bad reviews about the way it looked. Now, that could be from FPV pilots who are used to building their own rigs, right? And you can customize it, make it look how you want. Okay, so here you've got obviously your power brick. And then, if I can get this actually open, that power brick's for your main batteries, by the way. You have a battery here. This actually goes for your goggles. Feedback that we've gotten is that this will last for a good hour and a half, right? So the batteries that we'll get to here in a moment are rated for 20 minutes, okay? Now, keep in mind that's 20 minutes probably in the normal mode, flying at normal speeds, okay? I think those of you who have flown before know that once you start maneuvering with the drone, you're definitely going to lose some flight time. Now, this is a bit more extreme in the sense that it's not just maneuvering. Once you go to full manual mode and you're really flying this drone all out, I'm going to remove this out of the way. You actually get to a state where you might only be getting 5 minutes worth of battery. So, side note, company Splice, if you ever want to be able to open stuff without risk of cutting yourself, there's a little ceramic knob there. Kind of cool. But also, you won't really damage the equipment that you're trying to open. So if you got plastic like this, trying to do a little bit of opening, you'll be good to go. So headband for the goggles, put that over there. Cut each of these open. Okay, so now we're getting to the antenna. And when we do our more in-depth like setup and review, that's when I'll actually set those up. So you got some power cords here, USB-C, USB. They have this set up so that you can connect your Android phone directly. All right, so you all got hooked up. I have an iPhone, but that's no big deal. You just take a lightning cable. So when you look at this, that's your USB-C, USB connector. So you'd essentially just plug, if you have an iPhone, your lightning cable into there, and then that will plug into your phone. USB-C, plug in, goes here. Okay, hopefully it's not too dark. If not, in the tutorial, I'll make sure it's much brighter. And you set up. So one thing that's also cool, I think anyway, is that it came with a shell, or another canopy, if you'd want to call it that. So this can work well for two items. If, like, I'm Part 107 certified, right? In certain scenarios, you'd want a visual observer. If you're using an observer and you have goggles on, that is a good thing, okay? So this will help your visual observer see you. If you're racing your drone, which feedback on this has been, hey, if you want cinematic shots that are FPV, this is a great drone because of its durability or lack thereof for crashes in relation to maybe like a carbon fiber built FPV racing drone and its weight. You're not really going to be using it out there for racing, although of course you can. I think the top speed in manual mode is 87 miles per hour. But anyway, so this would fit right over the top. You'd remove this one and place the other one on. I love the Predator look, so we're going to leave it on. Anyway, that is very little detail. I tried to keep this as quick as possible because sometimes you go on a YouTube video for one thing and you end up getting a slew of other things that you did not need. So real quick walkthrough. Hope you enjoyed it. If you like this video, please like this video. Feel free to comment with any questions or to correct me or clarify anything where I was totally wrong, because this is my second drone and first FPV drone. And third, subscribe, because over the next few days we're going to be doing some setups. We're going to be doing some flights. I'm actually going to get some cool video of the training simulator, which will be displayed on my phone. And what that'll allow people to see anyway is before you go out and do your manual flights, I've gotten feedback that you might want to do almost up to an hour of flight time. So more to come. Please like, please subscribe, and look forward to y'all's comments.